Let me check the stream and make sure that it's up, but I believe we are up. All right, so good morning, Jay.
Hello,
Uh,
our wide-reaching audience.
so let's figure out where we left off last time. I
Uh,
feel like we'd gotten masks or something, right?
you know what I do remember is we had a to-do.
We had that is a good thing to have. Let's see what our to-do says.
It's past selves.
Start cleaning here. That feels
It's,
familiar.
I guess we have to. It says so right there. So there it is.
What is this? Try to find pairs of digits in the same. This feels. Have we not cleaned this up?
Um, I, I don't remember what we cleaned up. Let's just make sure that we have the right thing here. Recent branches. Yeah, we had it 14 days ago. That's too old.
You're right. It should be 7 days ago. 5/26. Wait, what? That
Yeah,
doesn't
it's
make any sense.
possible that I got computers mixed up and missed that. Let's go look it up on so
Yeah, somehow
seven.
5/26 was updated. And also looked 6:03 ahead. So that seems like the branch.
Yeah, I would have expected 6.2 to be in here. Okay, what was the last commit? Add commit for next time. So that's the commit we're looking for. Start reading here and find unique pair. So that's not where we're currently looking.
No, 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 no. Go back. I think you read that commit wrong.
Oh,
It's
you're right.
it's to do
Yeah.
get rid of mask. That feels more like the thing. So
Okay.
this seems like the right thing. So let's switch over to that branch and then pull from there and make a new branch.
All right.
I so my neighbor is a person who writes indexes, and it's like she reads books that have been written and then like compiles what are the important things and puts it into index and stuff like that. And she uses the software. And one of the things that's very surprising to me is that source control is something like programmers get, right?
Mm-hmm.
No pun intended. But the rest of the world seems to not know about source control. And there's nothing, I think, unique about programming that requires source control.
Any kind of
Uh,
document.
any kind of document, yeah. Like Illustrator should know about source control. Word should know about source control. Um, like these are concepts and practices that are important to us. Um, but they're not important to us because we like discipline. They're important to us because they help us to think in hard situations. And other people are thinking in hard situations that are not code. So anyhow, she ran into this problem where it didn't autosave, it didn't work nice, and she lost her work. And so like I sat with her and we went through like installed GitHub desktop, not even GitHub, right? Just the client to the local. And it's creating these digital files, which are binary files, which is not a big deal, but also not very useful. But it has an ability to export to text, and so we've sort of set a pattern for when she saves, she exports to text, and then the diff actually shows like, hey, I added these lines or I changed this line, and she can actually see how her work evolves over time. And if something goes wrong, like she can like be like, oh, I need to take that out. And even though she doesn't get like the merging thing that you would normally
Mm-hmm.
get because they're not text files, This is so useful. And so like this has saved her already multiple times, and we're only on Wednesday of this week, right? Where she's like, oh, I don't understand why, the people who write the program that she's using are obviously programmers and most likely use Git, and wouldn't even have to like rewrite Git or anything. Like
Just use Git.
use Git. Yeah, but just
Yeah.
put like a little bit of a front end onto it, and like same with like Microsoft. I mean, I say Microsoft understands source control, but they've written like 2 or 3 versions of source control at
Some
the
of them
very
work.
least. And yet my PowerPoint comes up and says, your file has changed. Would you like to save it? With no ability to tell me what's changed.
Hmm.
Right? Like, you would think that like slide 15 changed, or, like you could show me a lot of really powerful and useful things to tell me what's changed. And very often, like, I don't know, like, I don't remember what changed.
Hmm.
Do I save this? Do I not save it? Like, so anyhow, all this is to say, like, I wish the concepts that we use in programming to make our lives manageable, we didn't think are only apply to programming. Right? Like, we are people who are good at dealing with complexity, and we need these tools to deal with complexity. Why do we think that normal people don't?
Hmm. So there's a little more to this. We have undo in most applications.
Yeah.
Like that's almost universal. And most applications have multi-level undo.
Yep.
So like Notepad only has one level of undo, and that's unfortunate. But that's feels like a really rare exception. Multi-level
Yeah.
undo seems like the norm in any kind of document
Yeah.
thing. And so that's okay. So like there's levels here. There's I can undo the most recent change is the first level, and then the second is I can have a history of undo.
Mm-hmm.
And then as soon as you have history of undo, you're probably going to want redo. They
Yeah.
kind of go together, right? But it's linear. And so if you undo 3 and then make a change, presumably that blows away the redo stack that you just had.
Yeah.
So the next level is forking. And as soon as you start forking your history, then you have this enormous user burden of trying to understand what forking of history means
Yeah.
and trying to either cherry pick or merge
And this is like
between
an
forks.
issue with Git in general, right? Which is like
Right.
Git is fantastic until you do something complicated, and then you are googly.
Pretty
And
quickly,
like
right.
you're effectively like, I remember Gilkerson would say like Git is not so much source control as an API for source control.
And then the next question in source control is multi instance. So I have my own dev machine and there's something else. So in Git, we call Git distributed version control, but even like Perforce or SourceSafe or whatever, you've got what's on your local machine and what's on the server and what's
Yeah,
on other
always.
people's machines. And making sense of that multi-instance state is another kind of like layer of complexity in there that you have to
Yep.
deal with. But you actually can't get away from that completely because most document editors, you can have an unsaved file.
Yeah.
So there's the state in memory versus the state on disk. And those are two instances. And we don't
Two different things.
usually give people tools for thinking about those two histories in a uniform way and moving between them.
And I think again this goes to because often we don't think they'll ever need to. And that's the part that I think is just crazy. Right? Like I remember I wrote a program in Access once for my parents. And I chose Access because I was like, oh, it's like a database that regular people can use. And as soon as I started to put any kind of validation or checks into it, like the code became so complicated that I'm like, it's harder for me to write this, it's harder for me to maintain this, and there's no way someone else can. And the whole reason I'm in Access is so someone else can. Right? Like, I love the idea of making things accessible to everybody. And I think that like taking the things that make it possible for us to deal with complexity and saying, well, when it goes to everyone else, they won't need this, is where we fall down a lot. Anyhow, we'll get off the rant and let's get back to some code.
I feel like I had more to say about that, but that's okay.
Oh,
We'll
no,
come
you
back.
go for it. I
Oh,
finished ranting. Go for it.
Well, the other funny question about that is save as an operation. Like, so VS Code, we use autosave, but even calling it autosave makes it sound like there's an operation. But in the web, we don't usually have save as a feature. Web document editing usually is you make the edit and that's it. And the thing that's especially strange about that is the uncertainty of save over the web. Like if I'm in Google Docs and I type some things, I don't
Yeah.
actually know that what I've typed has been persisted because the network might be slow or unreliable.
Yes, but then there's also this thing that occurred. The one of the things I really like about like source control is not just that it saves, but it says these 5 files changed together.
Hmm.
Because if I need to undo, I need to like there's a logical
Yeah,
steps that are occurring that are important. Um,
yeah, that's
and
true.
so there is like I like autosave, like I use autosave. I think this is good, but I also like the manual saving of Git
Hmm.
to say an atomic action has occurred here,
Hmm.
right? Like there's a thing that has occurred here that if you need to roll back, you can. And I feel like the downside of autosave is it removes some of that intent that I find still to be very useful if you are ever rolling back. And, you know, I roll back a lot. Not even a lot. I only need to roll back a few times to
Hmm.
make that investment pay off, right? Like I
Yeah.
was saying, like if you use source control and you only use it to recover one time every 2 years, that's why that's worth it, right? Like if you do your backups every damn day and you only restore your disk once a decade, yeah, you got paid back on that one. There
Okay.
was a conversation I had with a friend, and she's like, she she was having a problem in her leg, and she's like, I want to go to the doctor and get an MRI on it, but that's really expensive. And most likely they're just going to tell me that you just have to wait and it'll heal itself. And I'm like, yeah, but what if they don't? And she's like, yeah, I only want to spend $1,000 if the result of it is I have to spend another five. And I'm like, that's an odd thing to hope for, right? Like it's like, all right, so let's continue.
Okay.
Uh, So where would get rid of mask and candidate mask? All right, yeah, let's totally do that. Where's mask?
Here.
Okay. Uh, get digits for mask. Let's go into that. Get digits for and but a mask is multiple things, right?
It's an
So
array of bools where each position represents a possible value for that
yeah,
cell, right?
and then here we create a list. Oh, so we okay. Go back to where we just were.
Can we
Can we
rename
just
that
push
parameter?
this up? Sorry,
Yeah.
what did you
Oh,
say?
I want to rename this parameter.
This is just
It's just
mask.
mask. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just where it
Yeah,
came
yeah,
from,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
I made a push rule on a Git repo that said every commit has to adhere to Arlo's commit notation by regex. Oh, it's such a pain.
But you made it.
It's very strict.
I'm
I'll get
guessing
used
that
to it.
there's a like a snippet or a gist somewhere of if other people want to use this.
But regex, yeah, I will write it down.
All right.
I'll put it somewhere.
Follow
It's
our
actually not, it's
Twitter
on that
to see
computer.
when Jay finally posts.
Yeah.
um,
It's
okay.
intense though. It's like, oh, you must follow this exactly, or you're not getting anything done.
I was coding with someone the other day, and we did documentation for the first time, and they're like lowercase d, and I'm like yeah, and they're like I'm just guessing. It just seemed appropriate. Like I like that aspect of the get notation or
Nice.
commit notation. Okay, so we got this digits to remove. Where else are we using mask? Here.
There.
Okay. So let's,
and no others.
okay, so let's get rid of that. So what is this saying? It's saying where the candidate's mask of the cell equals the mask. Uh, what would the English of that be? It's saying where what is possible is equal to the digits to remove. So let's see if we can rewrite that. So we're just going to put a where right on 165, right? So like we're going to do two wheres because you can do the same where twice. It doesn't matter, right? So 65 and a half dot where cell goes to Sudoku board dot is any digit possible. There you go, up for the cell and our digits to remove. That should.
I think that should replace this. Is that what you're saying?
That's what I think. Why is it complaining about cell?
Cell
Probably
isn't
cell
really
dot
cell.
something, cell dot cell or something.
Oh, God. Can we rename something? I don't know what to rename, but
It's
something.
Okay. Yeah. This does not look like a happy ink crunch. Is this not a? Yeah. Oh no, it is. Okay, it's just a slow. All right.
Okay.
Well, that didn't work.
Okay. Nice
Oh
guess,
no,
though.
because it's not is any digit. It's
All?
is all. So what? This
Is
is.
it just this with any replace to all?
I believe it is.
Oh, goodness. So,
You can just copy the names there too. Cell. That's beautiful. That's digits.
no, that's not green yet. It's all digit. It's even misnamed. Should be plural, but whatever.
Why is it not? Can we go back and take a look at the code for a second? Most likely we're just going to revert this, but I just want to see if I can understand. So we're taking the Sudoku board and we're saying, are all the digits possible for the cell? And that is.
So we're totally stabbing in the dark here. Like, I don't know what candidate masks is because it comes from the caller. Like, if the code was all together, I could see that this
We
is
can get
equivalent
rid
to
of
that, but I
candidate
can't see
masks.
that.
Yeah, good point. Revert this. Let's do that. Okay. So on candidate's mask down on here, just change that to Sudoku board dot get candidates.
Where does it come from?
It's being
Here.
yeah.
So you think I can just bring this whole statement in
I think so.
and shadow? We do that.
Nice commit. Now let's get rid of candidate's mask. And then let's inline that.
I just want to see that that's really what we wanted. Show me a diff. It looks like they used to show me a diff. Okay. I have to do it that way.
Desktop will do it. Yeah, that looks good. Scroll down a little bit. Is there more? No, that's it. All right. Okay, so candidate's mask is gone. I like that. That's half of our to do.
All right, we can log off soon.
And then the mask is, and now the mask is only being used here.
And used in 2 places.
And that has to be check that all the digits are possible. go into. Let's do that call, or go into that. Is any digit possible for it again? So this is just saying, is the digit possible? And is digit possible says, wait, we have, is any digit possible being called on line 286. Who calls that? 286? We're in a different place right now, right? All right. We're not going here
Well,
quite. Oh no, we're in the same
it's the
place.
same class, just different put above.
Yeah. Sudoku board dot is any digit possible. All right. I mean, we could try. No. Wait. What? Oh yeah. We should. We could try. A tuple is the cell. And the mask. No. Okay. No. Leave this alone for now. Let's go back to where we were. This is the one I want to get rid of. We take the cell.index and we check that it's equal to the mask. That has got to be all. Let's try it again. I feel like I'm doing the same thing, but it says so clone that where on 64. And say Sudoku board dot is in any digit possible, but now let's change it to is all digits.
You want to extract that clause as a method? Is that what we're doing here? Okay.
No, but I'm trying to get rid of mask.
What's the
Digits
parameter
to
here?
remove.
I guess that's what fits.
Oh, no, that, okay, so yeah, and then let's go make that method is the
So,
digit, hold on. So what I want to understand is this over filtering or under filtering? So let's go back to the thing and uncomment 65. Okay, so what that means is the first one is not filtering out enough. There's something that is being filtered out between 64 and 65 that isn't being filtered out in 64. Right? It's not taking too much. It's not taking enough. And what I want to know is what is it not taking? So can we pull the statement out into 64 into a variable? By the way, I'm very specifically not wanting you to commit while I'm doing this.
Okay.
Right? Because right now I just want to understand. And then let's take 64 and pull that out. Or, yeah, okay.
It's already a thing.
It's already a thing. And then what I want to know, do a to array on it here. Yeah. And then what I want to know is what's different between these two things. No, like 68 and a half.
Yep. That's here. This is the very next line.
Yeah, but you need to do like a accept and give me that.
Okay.
You're doing that dynamically?
All right. I thought it'll be obvious, but maybe that's not true. So that has two elements. That has two elements.
Do an accept.
Okay.
Oh, also, yeah. We don't know where, yeah. So
We want
accept,
the
equals with descriptors except math cells. And then put an if statement and say if except is not empty. And then I equals 1, int I equals 1.
You want to stop here?
I do. And you need code there to do. Sure, that works.
I can't remember what it is.
Just int I equals 1, put a breakpoint. But not underneath it. And then debug this.
I'm a little unwilling to not wield the debugger. It's hard for me to accept.
Okay, so let's go. So show me now what with descriptors are. So 4 there and 4 with descriptors or no?
So with descriptions is 4.
4 and mass cells is 2.
Mass
Yeah,
cells
and then
2.
show me what the accept is.
We should have done a 2 array on that.
Yep.
It's the other 2.
So, okay, so there's, and then
Let's look at all of them together.
what? Okay. Well, what I wanted to understand is let's look at one of those cells. Like, no. So what I want to know, Nix, is what is the digits to remove? So we're trying to get rid of 3 and 4. And then what are the possible digits? So what is one of the cells that's in the accept?
There's the answer to that question right there.
Index 23. So now show me what is the possible things for index 43. I think there's actually a Sudoku board that can do that. Right, like so just Sudoku board dot get can't no. Is there a get possible is digit possible? So let's do that. Is digit possible? And pass it 3 is the digit and cell no yeah, does that work? No, it has to be, you're gonna have to do a new cell, or no, you have to do a cell dot from index. Capital L cell from index 23. Okay, so 3 is possible. Check if 4 is possible. Okay. Check if 1 is possible. So 1 is possible. But then why is the mask equal? What? Show me what the mask is. Can you binary that? Ooh, what are you doing?
So comma X I thought was show it as hex. Comma, let's see what we got here. Or decimal. Hoping that one of these will be
Binary?
binary. Yeah.
It probably is a function on like integer or something. Like, yeah, Google. C#, or just, sure. Comma B.
Comma specifiers. How do I type that? Let's try it again. Yeah, that's not.
Alright, let's go back and read that thing again.
Yeah, comma B should look like this. Should be a long string of zeros. It's even called mask. See? Okay. Maybe it needs to be unsigned. I don't know. No, it's not a thing in C sharp.
Just do a Google for C#. Format and as binary. Yeah.
I'll take hex.
Convert to string. Val2. There we go. Do that.
What do we pass as the base, I guess?
Claire is suggesting that we log more to the approval test, which is probably a solid idea.
Yeah, it's funny that we're like, it's one thing to pop into the debugger for just a moment when
Yeah,
the
we're deep in the
infrastructure supports
debugger.
us.
Look, let's go just a little deeper and see if we get out, and if not, I think.
Better?
Not better. Why does it say one is possible? Didn't we? Is digit possible? One, cell from index. Let's go look at that method for a second.
So, okay, but mask is, why did you say one? Like, what's the relationship?
Because it's not. It. Because it was so 3 and 4 are the two to remove, right? Oh no, it's not all. Fuck. Ooh, sorry.
We're gonna get demonetized.
Yeah. So I know what the problem is. It's all and only all.
Exactly?
It's exactly, yes. Let's just revert everything and let's do the exactly.
All right. You want where?
Cell goes to Sudoku board that is exactly cell comma is exactly, yeah, whatever. We'll fix the name later. And then here, digits to remove. And then pull that out, or go into that method. Create that cell digits. And then here, you're going to say return digits.all.
Digits?
Well, so
Okay.
first, let's make the opposite. So on line 37, make a range from 1 to 9. Hold on to that. Probably you want to array that. Maybe, I don't know. And then, you want this dot except. So except for the digits that are passed in. So this is going to be not possible. No. Instead of calling it range, call it not possible. Okay, so now you're going to say return digits.all. D goes to is digit possible. And then D comma cell. And then, no, just cell. And then next one is going to be and digits.none. Is that a thing? You can also say digits.all. Not digits, not possible.
You want to say that
So
D is not in?
yeah, so here we want to say all as well. No. It can't be a contains. It needs to be a not possible dot all. and then inside of here say D goes to not is digit possible D comma cell. We'll make this better in a moment.
Give me the green, that'll be great.
Okay, but now go back to the code and just make sure that we are actually not doing the second filter. Okay, good. Commit.
What is that called?
This is a finally understood what the English was. Right?
How come this is around? I don't need that function.
No, yeah. It's a method swap. So we pulled out a piece of method and extract this way. Okay, so now let's go back. It sounds weird, but I feel good about this because it took us a long time to understand what that statement was actually saying. Like I misinterpreted it a lot. And so I'm really glad that now it's in sync. Right?
So this
That should be and not any.
It's called nary. There should be a nary extension.
There should be a none. Yeah. Okay. The name is also so is exactly
Well,
possible.
so I think that what we just did is what Claire was suggesting. I just want to acknowledge that she said it first.
I think the numbers, the indices are looking. What? She said what?
The last thing she wrote
is any.
The any question, which is the well-known optional version of it.
But wait, what?
There's no none.
Yeah. This is an any. Okay, so let's go back and take a look at where we are because we now got mask out.
I feel like that function's still a mess, but I don't care.
Yes, but it's less of a mask is now. Wait, why is mask? Oh, so now let's push this digits to remove as something we pass in.
You want to turn this into parameter.
Yeah. And now we can get rid of mask. And then why is step change getting passed in here?
With that, can we control transfer statement?
Yeah, but no, go back to where it's being called. So here, step change equals this, but we continue on. So this should just be step change equals step change or this on 44. Get rid of that. Take it out of here. Scroll down to here and just there say return.
We can return here.
Yeah, that's just going to be no. You can't because that would be an early exit.
Okay.
No, you need a local step change made. Yeah, you can't do this. On line 52 or line 66, make a step change equals false. And then on 82, step change equals true. And then return step change. Okay, that should be a valid refactoring. Good. Commit that.
What's the difference?
We removed step change.
But why?
You're in a for loop.
Where's my loop?
It's on line 72.
Oh, there. Okay, so we could bring this in further.
Sure. but then you need to return false at the end of this.
I know you're not gonna go for this.
No. I'm not sure it's better, but it's not. I'm not sure it's worse either.
Because I would do that. I would invert that if and do that.
Sure. I'm good with that. Ish. I'm good-ish with that.
And stuff. It's my not very disciplined.
What is going on?
You got rid of mask.
Yeah, we got rid of mask. That's good. And now this is. I think we can give a name to this. Applesauce. So this is remove pairs.
This can come up even earlier. Actually, you don't need that check at all. Yes, you do. Just barely. It's going to fail, yeah. But this can move up here.
Because this is as close as cells goes.
That's not true either. What? No, that's green. Okay.
All right.
Maybe you'll like that better because you like your early returns early.
I do like him. Guard clauses.
Yeah.
It's also technically more efficient, but I don't care about that.
Yeah. I don't know that that's true.
Well, no, because it's not going to do the where clause if nothing came up, and we do a to list. So it would
give me data.
Yeah, fair enough.
I'm going to go put on a shirt that says data if we keep going down this path.
Fair enough. But I like it earlier still. So this range, except for the digits to remove, and then we do a dot any, and is any digit possible? I think this is exactly as well. I think line 56 isn't exactly.
It looks exactly.
It looks very.
Could we not have written that? I mean,
this whole thing, this whole just where Sudoku board dot.
This
is exactly, and then here past cell and digits to remove. Well, I'm wrong about that. Undo that.
Really close though.
It was really close though, right? Where?
I want to go look at it.
Oh no, it's not. It's not exactly. Because it's actually saying, show me where there's a digit to remove and another one. It's more than. So here it's saying, find all the cells where there's more possibilities than just these two digits. Which really means, like, if we can take the cells, let's rename it to cells with additional possibilities on 52. So first we find the cells with additional possibilities.
Do we use the descriptions in here?
And this, except, we do this a lot, Can we pull that out? On 56 through. No, just the. Actually, you can do this in Sudoku board. Go to Sudoku board. Scroll down to the on line 333. Extract that as get remaining digits. And make that public. And we can commit that. And then if we go back here, we can do this. No, not the any. That can now be Sudoku board dot get remain. You need capital S. Get remaining digits for the digits to remove. And then we want to check if any of them are possible. If we run this, this should pass, commit it, and then we can make this a little bit better. Because I think we have a Sudoku board dot is any possible. Is any digit possible from the cell? And it's cell.cell. And then the digits to remove are going to be the Sudoku board dot get remaining digits. What? Why? What does get remaining digits give us? Let's go into get remaining digits for a second.
Get remaining digits gives us an
IEnumerable
enumerable event, and is any digit possible takes an array event.
So let's go to is any digit possible and make it an enumerable event.
And our no, we're calling the wrong. This one, cell and a list. I ignored what you just said. What did you just say?
Well, this is good. Let's commit it. Small steps is always better. So now let's go to get remaining or to is any digit possible. Like control click into 56. No, the other one. Yeah, and change that from a list to an IEnumerable event, and then go back and get rid of that.
So get cell with description here, but oh, there's the user description right there. Almost everywhere uses just plain cell.
Yeah.
That's the exception. Okay.
Okay. So now we're getting. So now this makes a lot more sense. I would just put this into 2 where clauses because I think it just reads a lot nicer.
Add an option, split, negate, flip, replace.
No.
That should totally be a refactoring.
That should totally be. But yeah, so. And then can we format that so it fits on a single line? Like,
But not that too much. This is still better.
yeah. Wait, but the second one we can definitely put on a single line, right?
You can't, we'll lose the symmetry.
Okay, well then take the get remaining digits. That won't fit. Pull that out as a variable.
But it can be outside of here.
Yeah. And then put the cells with remaining descriptors on line 54. I realize this is really anal, but That's just nicer.
Like 4 commits, but here we are.
So I think this is good-ish, like good enough. I feel like we should go back up. This is definitely good enough. So now here I want to get rid of masks as well. So actually this is interesting. So this doesn't take masks. We've gotten masks out. I think we should be able to get masks out of this as well. So let's take a look at that. Where does mask show up? It shows up here. And there's a where, and mask must exist before this. So it shows up here. And it shows up.
Board is not a good name. Can we rename this?
Sure.
I don't know what it is, but it's not a board. It's something else.
Oh, it's not worth renaming this.
Okay.
We're trying to get rid of it completely.
Yeah. But we can make a slightly better name now so that I'm confused
Okay.
less between now and then.
Okay, instead of board, it would be masks. It's a board of masks.
I don't want to think about that one right now.
Yeah, fair enough.
Okay.
Okay. So now we go through here and we get the mask, and we get there, and then what we try to do with the mask is do a Sudoku board get digits for mask. So let's do that directly. So on Sudoku board get digits for mask. Let's put that into line 29 and a half.
Sorry, what do you want me to take from where to where?
On 29 and a half. Yeah, I see a comma above. You're going to say possibilities or possible digits.
I don't know how to spell words. Okay, there we go.
Equals. And then here you're going to say Sudoku board.get digits for mask. You're going to pass it mask. Sure. And then down on 43, you're going to say group dot possible digits. That should work. Good. Now we can get rid of line 43. It's dead. And now we can get rid of line 28. Because it's also dead. Okay, so we've moved mask up on this method. So now we need to move it up again. So here. So what do we have? We have a group. Where's the group showing? So we take the masks and we get the ones that are distinct for 2. And we put them to a list. 2 mask candidates. Where are 2 mask candidates coming from? No, this is 2 masks. Wait, candidate masks. So we take the ones here that are distinct and we put them to a list. Oh, but these are literally what are the groupings that are possible. Okay. Then we go through those. And this comes out, though, with just a list of cells and the possible digits. Help me out here. What is this doing?
I don't know, I'm so lost. Brain full of typing.
Okay, well, so here we're doing like a chain, right? So let's pull out the chain, right? So what's the... Is this whole thing in a select mini? That makes it a little hard to pull out.
Well, we're coming in with a list of lists. Maybe we can flatten this and get rid of the select menu. Does that make sense?
Sure.
So if we do select menu there, or there it is. And then we can remove
The select menu here.
list. Why doesn't that work?
No,
My
no,
brain isn't.
that does not work. Undo that. You can't flatten. Because the cell groups are the constraints. So you can't flatten. So what this is saying is for a group, but let's take the inside. Oh, can't take the inside out. Sure, I mean, we could just tupleize this rather than an anonymous object. Out of curiosity, the cells. Oh no, cells is the group. Which is a list of cell descriptors. And from the group, we go through all right. Slow it down, take it piece by piece. Let's go to the where directly above us. And here...
Or a buffer.
Yeah, so actually, let's go right above. No, so let's do a cell groups dot select. And here, can you... Yeah, we're going to do basically the same thing we did before. So copy lines, actually, just copy lines 27 through 31. Put that select at the front. You can always do that, but put mask into it.
To like the penalty. Okay. How are you thinking about this?
Sure, why are you doing that?
Because I'm just noticing reds and thinking about what to do about them.
No. We got group. It's fine. Delete the count. So here, where it says group dot count, you have to say group dot cells dot count. And where it says mask, you have to say group dot mask. And then here it's group dot cells dot any, and that's group dot mask. And then this is group dot mask. And you can get rid of the last select completely. Capital M mask.
Some arbitrary number of parens. There we go.
Should pass. Okay. So now we're going to try to take mask out of some of these wheres. So here we do cells.count this for the mask equals 2. So that is going to become the, like where it says candidates mask on 28. Yeah, so in front of this is going to become Sudoku board, lowercase Sudoku board, I think. Dot. Is there a get possible digits? Yeah, so let's do a get possible digits. Oh, no, wait, hold on. That's not what it's saying. It's saying equals the group mask equals 2. Wait, what? Undo for a second? I'm not understanding a thing. Oh, no, I am. Okay, so it's saying the count of this equals 2. Okay, yeah. So this part is Sudoku board dot. Wait, are you there?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Sudoku board
I'm
dot.
going to type. Okay.
Yeah. I got confused by the double equals. Is exactly, and here it's going to be group dot cell possible digits. Yeah. And then you can get rid of the, nope, you need to keep that. Yeah. Group dot cells dot cells dot cell.
It's a list.
No, so it's undo for a second. It's tuple dot index. So do tuple dot cell. Okay, that should work.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, do I not like bit manipulation. Okay. But basically what we're trying to do right now is remove mask. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So the next mask is down here. And this is saying where there are ones that are not here. So let's try writing the thing above this.
Is that it?
So this is saying find me, so we want things where 2, and there exists a cell that the mask is not exactly this, and any, so what this is really saying is, and I want to find ones in the opposite. So where we say is any digit possible, this is going to be lowercase Sudoku board dot is any digit possible. Yeah. Sudoku board is any possible. Pass it the cell, which is tuple dot cell, and then pass it capital Sudoku board dot get remaining digits of the group dot possible digits. Okay, I believe that, and you don't need the candidate masks not equal. Whew. All right.
Wow.
Definitely getting better, and we got mask out of there, which I believe now means we can take it out of 24. Okay. So now we just need to take it out of here. So we're going to push this up into the 2-digit masks. So to do that, let's, before we do after the distinct, do a dot select. After the, yeah, what you're doing is correct. Dot select. No. Let's do it after the distinct for right now. It doesn't matter, but also yes. Dot select. M goes to no, Sudoku board dot
Bigger though.
get digits from mask and pass it M, and then change I enumerable with int to a var, and then here this is literally going to equal mask on line 28. No. Oh, yeah, what you did is correct. So I need like commit that. I need a better phrasing for, rather than no, for you're not doing what I'm telling you, although what you're doing is still a good thing to do. Right?
Is it, you want me to continue doing it and then we switch? Or is it,
I mean,
I don't know.
at the moment, like there's a catch in my head, right? Right? What I'm trying to express is you're not doing what I'm telling you to.
Mhm.
But then I can see what you're doing and saying, yes, and what you're doing is actually a good thing.
Mhm.
Right? As opposed to you're just, I'm not communicating correctly. Okay, so this now, we moved mask all the way up into here. So now the idea is, can we get it out before here? And I think we can. Because now I think we can definitely move that select up one, right? Like move it from 19 to 18.
Reading this.
Oh yeah, thanks.
What?
Just move line 19 up one. I believe it still works.
Uh,
Okay. Which means we could move it before the where. So let's do that. And then let's change the where to be
yeah, to fix something now.
where, so inside of here where it says mass to 1 count, we're going to say mass.count equals 2. Okay, so we've now pushed it way, way up. Now we just need to, oh, we can get rid of line 14 now. Yay. Okay.
How many other uses of this are there? Are we getting there?
We're getting there.
Oh, fuck.
I mean, we're also building the tools to get there. Does that make sense? Like, so here, let's take this select on that we have on line 16 and move it to line 13. Okay. And now what I want to do this is I want like a get candidate possibilities on the Sudoku board.
This variable is only used here. Should
Yeah.
we?
So I want to effectively extract this into a method on Sudoku board, right? Which is get candidate possibilities. I really want to call it. Sure. Now push that onto Sudoku board. And then inline that. So we get the possibilities and rename mask on 15 to possibilities or P.
Rename. Claire says 2-digit masks is a constant independent of the state of the board.
But it's not.
Maybe it was. Maybe there was a version of it that was that earlier.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
in theory, 2-digit masks are like we could say right now we're saying give us all the 2 digits possibilities that are part of the board. But we could say, oh, she's saying it was original. Yeah, so we could say just like what are all the 2-digit possibilities? You know, all combinations of 1 to 9 that don't repeat, right? Which you could do with a simple for loop, but this works.
Let's.
The thing that's nice about this is also generic, right? Like I think we could swap out 2 here for in and get where we want, but I know this is a bad place to do that. Either way, like mask is now out of this.
Let's make our to-do comment and have retro.
Yeah, that feels like the right thing. And well, so my question is, I feel like this is, for lack of a better word, good enough. It's not great yet, but mask is
better.
out. It's a lot better. It's much more readable. This 2-digit masks part and the 19. This groups is a bad name. This is a, what is groups? This is
a list of cells and possible digits.
These are the constraints that could be removed. It's actually constraints with unique pair possibilities.
And so in the class name.
Yes, and the 2-digit mask name, or 2-digit masks, are pair possibilities. And then here, yeah, that makes much more sense. You can take out the 2 list on 17. Don't think there's a reason to do that.
There says creating a branch. So we're in a branch here, 6, 9. I think that's the right thing.
Today is the 9th. So, yeah, it does look like we're in a branch for today.
I'm going to push this button.
Yep.
See what happens. Yeah, last week we failed to make a branch. We should have a checklist of 1 item. Ask the audience if we're missing anything.
Okay. So now, so I feel like this is something we can sort of put to the side now. And I want to go to the next one next week. Does that feel like the right thing?
I'm okay with that. What's this one?
Must be. Oh, that doesn't look bad.
Except for you notice these two values here.
Which two?
There's 100 lines of code
Oh,
hidden
right,
inside
right.
there.
Regions. I forgot how evil regions are. And if we open this up, are we seeing masks? I'm guessing we are. Because we have a candidate masks right there. Yep, and in fact, this has got to be very similar code.
All right.
All right.
Well, we're gonna
Yep, we
push
got a
that.
to-do. We got that. Do the push. So, in terms of retro, the code here was really complicated, right? Like, we spent a lot of time on a few lines of code here. And there is a big part of me that's like, maybe we never had to open this door. But there's another part of me that's like, we built lots of things that allowed us to get out of this door. And I think eventually we'll get the bit masks completely out. Does that make sense? Like it feels like it's starting to get contained. Yeah. That's not even the right word. We got it contained in one place. We have now tools that help us get it contained in other places. So I feel like, yeah, like we're about to get rolling with this. Is how I feel. There's
12 weeks
another.
in, we're about to start doing something good.
There's this other pattern of like, there's a part where you want to understand everything, and it's just too complicated. Like I feel like if it fits in your brain, go for it. But if it doesn't, slow back and just start peeling it apart. Don't try to take the big chunk. Right? Like that was happening in that really complicated link statement where, does that make sense? Where I moved the select to the top, and it, because before that I was actually trying to just solve the link statement, and it was just too much for me. So I guess that pattern is like, anytime it feels overwhelming, stop and take a smaller chunk. Do you ever read Harry Potter and the Methods of Rationality?
No.
Really, really good fan fiction. As if Harry Potter, the idea is Petunia married a scientist instead of Dursley, and he grows up like with a scientific method, and then he applies it as he goes through Hogwarts, and it's delightful fiction. There's a part in there where he's like, I'm feeling confused. Like, when you feel confused, it's worth stating that you feel confused, because it tells you, like, my step right here isn't to do anything. It's to stop and assess what's going on. Does that make sense? Yeah. It's like that, like your brain is trying to say stop. Don't do an action, gather information. And that happened here, where I was like, no, I can do it. And then it was like, no, I can't do it. Stop, slow down, break it into smaller patterns. It'll become possible once you start pulling those threads out. There was another thing. We pulled out that repetition for the get remaining digits. That turned out to be really helpful. I wish I knew exactly why I thought that needed to be pulled out. And I think the answer is just I was trying to say something in English a couple times and I couldn't express it well in code. Like the English to code translation was really ugly. And I wanted it to be better. There was another part where the English came up, right? Where, if you remember, we tried to refactor that is all a couple times,
Hmm.
right? Like we're like, no, this is all, and then we did it and it didn't work. And then we did some stuff and we came back and we're like, no, this is all, and it still doesn't work. Not surprisingly, um, doing it again doesn't make it work. But then we came back and we were able to understand that it was is exactly, and that the fact that we couldn't translate the code to the English, that in my mind that's the biggest smell, right? Like if you look at the code and you can't say the English, that code is a problem. And
Hmm.
if you look at the code and you say the English and the code, the translation between the English and the code is a lot, that's another smell, right? Like, I remember being in a session with Bob Martin. This is back in 2009, and he had a slide where there was 4 lines of English, and but like a lot of lines of code. And then when he was done refactoring, it was like 4 lines of English and 4 lines of code. And I said, "Hey, you have 4 lines of English, and it turned into 4 lines of code. Do you think that that's related?" And he was
Hmm.
like, "No, I think that's just coincidence." But I think that's really related. Like I
Hmm.
I think that's really that the your English brain is doing the lifting here. Um, and so here, if you can't even get it right, then that's a big problem.
Yeah. There's this is a terrible article for it. There's the compose method refactoring, which is like just barely a refactoring, but it's extract method repeatedly until the method reads like the English.
Yeah,
Um, that's one way to approach it. The other, which I've seen you do, is first write the English in comments, then convert each comment into code.
yeah.
Hey, that's redundant. Let's delete those comments now.
I really
It's
like that pattern if we're writing new code.
Yeah, they're
Yeah,
both good.
I
Hey,
think.
I want us to wrap up, but that's something else that I noticed. Go
Yeah.
ahead.
No, no, go.
Okay. Um, so I think this is a recurring pattern with this particular way of working, and I think it's fine. I just wanted to observe it. That I think it's like 80% of what we're doing comes from you and 20% from me, and
That's because
that's
you're typing.
it's because I'm typing. If
Yeah,
we were doing strong pairing and swapping, then it would be different,
yeah,
right?
of
And
course.
that's fine. I think the 20% that I add is really valuable. So I'm glad to let me finish the
Oh
idea.
yeah,
So
yeah.
like
Keep going.
I've often noticed when pairing well, where one person knows all the things, the 20% the other person adds is actually like the other half of the value. Right? It's so powerful to have a second person bounce things off. But the other thing that we get for free out of that is narration for stream.
Yes.
And that works really well as well. So anyway, I'm happy with how that's going. It's just interesting to notice.
I also want to be really clear on the 20% part because I think what you're trying to express is there's 20% that you are providing that like I could never provide, for lack of a better word, right? Like it's
Mhm.
like you are seeing 20% of what I don't see. But there is another massive amount that you are providing in allowing me to move this fast, right? Where it's, I would not provide the 80% if you were not here. I could maybe only provide like
Mm.
40%, right? Meaning like there's this extra 40% that I'm providing because you're enabling me to provide it, right? And so it's
Mhm.
much less visible, but I've been in this experience way more than enough to know I cannot think like this and type. right? Like it's just I can't do it.
Mhm.
Also, there's a thing between what I'm thinking and when it actually gets to my mouth that is better. And there's another thing between what I say in my mouth and what you actually do, where you auto correct a lot of my mistakes,
Yeah.
right? And so there is a there is this 20% that you are seeing that I'm blind to, but there's also this massive amount you're just enabling me to unlock, which I am just very, very grateful for. And it's invisible, but it doesn't mean it's not there.
It's cool. I actually, I think the role of intelligent input device is a really important role. It's not just a joke
Yeah.
about the typist. I think that it's a role that has skill and has a powerful impact on the way a pair or mob functions.
I
Uh,
also think of it as like there's this idea that the medium you're working with allows you to create the art, right?
mhm,
And like if you're working in marble, just things are much much harder. And if you're working in clay, like now you can create more interesting things because the medium is more responsive, right?
mhm,
And for lack of like a better phrase, working in J is is like a much more like responsive and malleable, and I can think and work in a much higher language than if I was typing in C sharp in Visual Studio. Does that make
yeah.
sense?
Mhm.
Like, yeah, has a not like the best phrase thing, but like the sentiment I think is genuine.
Okay.
All right.
At the beginning, I mentioned the Arlo's commit notation,
Yep.
um, regex. This is what my latest version. I don't know if it's the best, but that's okay. That's regex. Uh,
Did you tweet that as well?
I have not tweeted it yet.
Okay, so please tweet that because I'm going to take an image of this and tweet it, and then people will have to retype that, and there's no way that's going to go well.
Oh, come on. It's just, okay, sure.
Yeah, say that string out loud. All right. I think that's all for this week. I'll see you next
All right,
week.
sounds good.